Bangalore store. Today we have with us Padma Mohan. So she has almost 2 decades of experience in baking, right?
Corporates.
In corporates, and she aims to engage in learning the giving the baking classes and making healthy choices for baking and all. And it's our pleasure to have her with us today. And I welcome Padma to Nutreat. So today she is going to prepare a healthy banana cake, right? Banana cake using the Nutreat product. So
He's focusing on health, right? Now, why should we use certain products as against why should we not use certain products? Some people don't know about it. It becomes our responsibility to tell them what is the right thing and what may not be the right thing. So keeping that in mind, I've used your product, which is the stone ground wheat flour. It's amazing. And first, the only thing what I thought was the stone ground. Okay, so stone ground means there's no machinery. If there's no machinery, it's going to be healthy. That's what I thought. But trust me, when I went into your website and started seeing stuff is when I realized this is sprouted and then stone ground. Now, what happens while sprouting? Basically, the enzymes in any grain, for that matter, not just wheat, any grain gets activated. So in this matter, wheat, once it's sprouted and then it is stone ground, there's 2 or 3, in fact, a lot of vitamins and minerals which gets activated, especially the enzymes.
More nutrients will come when you sprout any product.
Absolutely, and most often people don't want to eat wheat because it takes time to digest. Now that problem is sorted out when you sprout it, because half of your food, meaning half of your grain, is already pre-digested while sprouting. So the energy of digesting your food becomes half, which means you have more energy for other things. That's the way logic we look at, right? We want all shortcut for many things, right? We don't want to buy a product and make it from scratch. We want to buy something ready-made, so it saves our time. Here's what is the ready-made which you're supposed to be using.
Yeah, so Padma is talking about this Nutreat wheat flour. So today she is going to make a banana cake using the Nutreat wheat flour, which you can see here. And she's talking about this product, which is a sprouted one.
So we're going to make banana bread today. Before we get to the banana bread, the last thing which I would like to talk about the sprouted and stone ground is 2 benefits. One I've already told, while sprouting, we have the enzymes which gets activated, right? I think it's lysate and there's lysine. There's 2 different.
Lysine and lysis, yeah, both of them.
Right? So these 2, and there's one other vitamin which gets activated. I don't know the name. I'm not a science student, but next time I'll get you the name correctly.
I remember only one thing, that's more nutrients will come when you know sprouting. That's
absolutely.
what my Jyoti founder used to tell her. That
Absolutely. And the best thing is, while we stone ground, there's one thing which changes with the milling process. There are a lot of enzymes which gets killed in the process of heating.
Because of the heat and all. And
yes,
here
the friction and heat. But here, it does not die. And one example I always keep giving anybody who I teach, be it the cake or the kind of bread for that matter, right? So, what am I saying? Be cooking or the baking for that matter. So, with cooking, the example is when you buy your ginger garlic paste, as against when you pound the ginger garlic paste at home and cook.
So the aroma and many things change. Actually, you can feel also while
Is that because of preservatives or anything else? Actually, not. That's all a different story to talk about. But what happens is when you have a piece of ginger, when you kind of pound it, all the vitamins are in it. We're not chopping it. When you chop it, it kind of cuts away the enzymes or proteins or whatever it is. The goodness is cut, so it divides. When chopping it there, exactly the same concept with stone ground. So that is what is the 2 main important things I want to talk about this particular product. Now let's get on to the baking, which is what most of you have been waiting for. We're making a very simple. We go on?
Yeah, we can start. So
Thank you. So basically, cake is not at all a rocket science. It's pretty easy. Just that we have not been doing, so we feel it is very, very difficult. Now let's break that myth today. we're going to make banana bread. It's called as a banana bread or a banana cake. Either ways, it's all the same. It's going to come in a loaf pan. Few things which is important while we do baking is a measurement. Now, when we measure, what happens is we know what exact ingredients are going into our baking, right? That's extremely important, because when you make a sambar or a rasam, if there's less of salt, you're going to add it. But if you make cake, once it is baked, what can you really add? Except for the topping.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to
add more chocolates or chocolate chips.
Yeah, that's all exterior. But what is going into your cake, we can't make changes to that.
Yeah.
Right? Hence, that is an extreme important step in baking. And the second important thing is always preheat your oven. Because baking is a science and most of the ingredients are in the room temperature. And when we put that into the oven, the entire process starts. There's 3 important steps in baking which happens, which is rising, setting, and then caramelizing. Now, rising is basically the batter starts rising up, because when you put the batter into your pan, it will be 3/4. But when you bake it, it's got a volume to it. That is rising. And then the liquid actually forms a structure. Whichever pan you put the batter into, that structure is what it forms, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's the setting, which is actually the structure. And the last process is caramelizing. Now, if you don't see that crusty brown caramel, would you like to eat the cake? Wouldn't it look a little sad and not, it will be underdone, right? So these are the 3 important steps. For these steps, first thing is putting our oven, and we are baking the banana bread today at 160 degree Celsius. So I'm going to switch on the oven and put it at 160 degrees Celsius. And the next important thing is getting your pan ready. Because you're not going to scoop the cake out, you need the shape of the cake properly, right? So oiling the pan and then putting a liner is extremely important. I'll just put a liner, but I will do the oiling a little later. I have most of my ingredients already measured here. We're just going to mix it in a certain steps, certain process, one after the other. Let's see how it goes. And never ever go with a cup measurement. I'll tell you why. Now, this stone ground batter, flour which we're looking at, is got a different consistency. Kind of when you hold it in your hand, you'll feel it. It's a little heavier. But the mega is a little lighter. If you change this and say, you know what, I'm going to eat a ragi cake, I'm going to also mix jowar into it, then they have a different volume to it.
Actually, we have a habit of using the cups, measuring cups
Yes.
and all.
If you know what you're doing exactly, then you can use the cup. But generally, it's recommended that we use a weighing scale. This doesn't cost really much. If you're a person who's going to bake and not want to buy things from outside and continue to bake, it will cost you about some 1,000 rupees, I think, and it will come a long way. Your recipes will not go for a waste. It will come in a precise manner. So let's put all these things aside and get into action, which is what is our measuring. Now, except for one product, everything else is measured, because I wanted to measure that particular product in front of you, because that's the main thing. So what we have to measure is our flour, which is the hero ingredient of today's session. I think this is open. So here you go. The rest of the things are measured, and this is our stone ground. Am I showing it correctly? Yes. Oh, yeah, there you go. The stone ground wheat flour, right? I'm going to measure this. We need 250 grams. Okay, that is it. So once we measure, it is extremely important to aerate it. When I say aerate, sieving it. Now, I'm not going to sieve it because of my laziness, and plus I did not bring the sieve. But we can use this and start mixing it, because it's a fresh pack which we just opened now. I'm sure we're not going to have any insects in it. It's a fresh product, right? And we just have to...
It's a fresh batch.
Yeah, so we just opened it. Most of the time, it's not the product which is a problem. It's the way we store which is a problem. We wouldn't have put the zip properly. We wouldn't have kept it in a proper, tight container. So you just have to mix it like this. While mixing, I'm going to add the other dry ingredients. So what is there in this is 5 grams of baking powder, which is extremely important for baking. Actually, not always, but for us to give the volume when we have fruits and things like that, it's important. And then I've added a little bit of salt, and for flavor, I've added a little bit of cinnamon powder.
So why do we add salt also to the cakes and all?
Very good question. Salt is a taste enhancer. Ajinomoto is not a taste enhancer. We think Ajinomoto is a taste enhancer, right?
Yeah.
So salt brings all the flavors together. Now, when you're eating the cake, if you kind of separately find the cake, the taste of the flour, separately find the taste of the banana, and separately the taste of the egg, imagine in your head how awkward you're going to feel about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's right.
Even if you mix, sometimes those things never come together.
Yeah.
But salt is extremely important for all of those to come together in any food item. We make sweet, we make anything, we have to use salt. Now, don't ask me that question, why aren't we using that in coffee and tea? Maybe we should try that sometime and see why we're not using it.
Definitely we'll try in our store during weekend.
So, yeah, this is actually mixed, so I don't have to spend more time on this. I'm just going to keep it aside. And this process is extremely important, because if you don't mix it, one place they will, the cake will rise in one part and will not rise in the other portion, so which is not
So maybe 2 to
very
3
good.
minutes we can mix.
Not really. If you sieve it, you have those siever, right? If you
Yeah.
sieve twice, it's more than enough.
Okay.
But
At least
because
we have to mix it for a
yeah,
couple of minutes.
sieving is what is recommended, because I didn't bring the siever, so I just did that. So here we go. The first thing which goes into our cake is our egg. Now, why do we always put the egg first? Now, there are different methods of baking, right? There are 5 different methods of baking. Back in the days, what they used to do is they didn't have all these blenders.
Yeah.
So they used to put the sugar and the butter on the kitchen slab, and start rubbing it. With the friction and a little bit of heat from our hand, it starts creating air into the butter and sugar. That is what was the process which they followed back then. Lucky we don't have to do that. We have something magical called as a hand blender.
Hand blender.
So I'm just going to crack the egg into this, and we will use the... Okay, so the egg, there's a certain size, there's a certain proportion to the cake which we make, right? Egg is one of the requirements, and we need 2 eggs. Generally, 1 egg is counted as 50 grams, 50 to 60 grams. But here we don't get those sizable eggs. So I'm taking 3 eggs to be on the safer side, because I don't want what does the egg give us? It gives us the protein and the moisture. I don't want the moisture to go down in my cake.
So what it adds to cake?
Yeah, good question. I was just preparing this notes yesterday. So what happens is, absolutely, it's this is a session which we have to learn, more interactive. Just that if there's somebody there asking questions, we can't get it.
Yeah,
So-
so you can see any questions are there. So you can also ask any questions if you have. So we're allowed to answer them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So egg gives the structure and moisture. Okay. Now I just need to clean my hands, and always try to keep your egg clean, because there are some particles in the egg shell which will fall into your pan. So be a little cautious about that. That is sorted. Here we go. Right. Our environment, the voltage of our mixer, and the consistency and the quantity of egg. So there isn't a proper time which we can say in 10 minutes this will get done. That's not possible, right? So approximately all we need, just ensure that oil is mixed properly into the egg. not do is oiling this pan, which is an extremely crucial step. Because if you don't do that, the cake will not come out well.
So we do the butter paper and still we use.
Yes, butter paper is just going to help it come out.
Okay.
But what if it sticks? So we should just oil this.
I think these are the simple steps.
Very small things for you
Small
to get.
things, but which will help us to get the best one.
Absolutely. It's just not the taste, it's the texture
Yeah.
and you eat with your eyes first. If it looks messy, you don't want to eat that.
Even we're tempted both the way they look also.
Yeah.
Not the taste. When we go to other places and all, so we get tempted with it.
That's true. So that is one important step. I wanted to show it to you guys and I forgot to do it. That's all. Now this is ready. The eggs which we are, sorry, not the eggs, the banana which we're using, or the Robusta banana which is big. Sorry, you got to hold it for a moment.
No problem. It's fine.
Oh.
Perfectly fine. Yeah.
So what I've done here is 250 grams of what's that in it?
Yeah. Can you? Yeah.
Dates and jaggery. This is what is there in this particular because it's going to add a lot of taste. Second product which we're using from Nutreat brand, which is going to go into the cake now. That's okay, we can put it back there.
We can put it back.
There you go. We will anyways beat it, so you don't have to bother much. But if you are a person who likes a little bit of chunks of banana in your cake, add the dry product into it. We should mix it little by little. When I say little by little, not gram by gram, it's going to be 3 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little. This is 1/3.
There are no lumps, right?
Yes, 1, there are no lumps, and 2, you can't keep mixing it. You're not making the actual blend where we need gluten to be formed. We've incorporated the air for it to give fluffiness. Now, if you try to mix it and keep mixing it, then it becomes heavier, and then it becomes a bread, which we don't want right now. We want a cake bread. Yeah. So, it's, mix it twice and cut it once.
Yeah, so
Mix it twice.
Only one pattern you have to use, right?
Yes. So, exactly. Mix it twice, cut
and
it once.
yeah. One.
That's where we are. So now we will put this into the pan.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. Cake is extremely easy. We think it's difficult. Done. You want to hold this because it's a little too heavy. Okay, you hold that. I'll take it down.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So technically, we should only pour 3/4 cup of water to you.
Okay. Only to just or we'll use the other the smaller pan. We can use the smaller.
I can bring it right now.
I can ask them to get it. If you want to remove something, you can just
No, that's okay. What we can do is I have my. You always have a backup.
Yeah.
So here is the backup.
I don't have. Can you see the backup here? So if you have an extra one, then you can put extra one.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Don't bother. Come. It's clean.
Cups is there.
So, here we go.
Wow, that's sweet. So today, if you go to the store, they can even taste the cupcakes also.
The flavor is going to be the same. The taste is going to be the same. Just that you can hold this in your hand and when it's stacked.
Maybe kids love to have this cupcake.
True. Very true. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little of this, which is this. Have you heard what is the Mohammed bin Tughlaq theory?
Yes.
You heard that? Okay.
Yeah,
History. I don't make fun of history, but then
Yeah.
he took away people from. He brought people all the way from Delhi to the south, thinking south is very good, so they're going to make their kingdom here. But then his ministers warned him that don't do that. People are going to die on the way. He didn't listen.
He said, no. Let's go down south. There's a lot of good things there.
Yeah.
And then he realized people started dying. And like, okay, let's go back now.
So
Which is what
he experienced
I'm doing right
on
now.
his own. Yeah. So it's all about experience.
Okay, so this is sorted. Let's
So this pan actually, it should be around 60% or how much we should do this?
anything up to
50%.
about
No?
3/4, which is 75% is what it needs to be.
Okay.
It's good enough. And just do this.
Okay.
In one of the sessions, I saw someone telling that take the pan and bang it so everybody around you knows that you're baking. Don't do that. What they did by whisking is bringing the air into it. Now you stop, kind of banging it, all the air is going to settle down and it will become a thick, dense cake. That's not what you want to eat. Right? I'm not going to put this in the oven as yet because everything has to go at the same time. So, a little bit of a messy job going on here. Give us a minute.
Can you see this? How nicely this thing? The color, oh, I loved it.
Not so soon, please. After what will you have to tell after it is done then?
It's a great video. In the evening, like, everyone. So, the next thing.
I don't think we need these many, but anyways.
Yeah.
Just a little closer.
Yeah. So in the cupcakes, actually same quantity. That's a 3
Cupcake also 3/4, but lesser than that will look nice actually.
Okay.
To make it look beautiful. Because you don't want it to come all over, right?
Should be perfect like
Go my messy job.
it's a perfect job, not a messy job.
This is my backup plan. I was
Yeah.
wondering if we can just make this, so that worked out.
So now I've got
Someone
something.
asked something.
Some questions there.
Yeah, you can read out.
These are the questions.
Yeah.
Alternative to egg
Alternative
from
to eggs.
Jyoti.
Because that's a big science which you have to work on. People say banana, apple puree, flax seeds. But again, all of that is right. I'm not telling wrong. The quantity is what matters. How much of banana you have to add, or how much of what puree is that? Apple puree is what you need to add. Is a science which you have to learn, right? So blindly just swapping something to the other will not make sense. Even in fact, this recipe, I had to try it to check if the stone ground batter goes well with the texture. See, anyways, the taste is very good, no doubt about it. Wherever there is fat, sugar and salt, the taste is going to be yummy, no doubt. But the point is, would the texture be nice? So, who asked that question about the
Jyoti.
taste?
Jyoti, our founder.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jyoti, just ping me. I'll try to help you further on that with the proportion, depending on what you're going to bake. That's where it will add value. By just telling this to this is not going to make sense with baking. Now we're going to just place it inside. We've already taken a little bit of time. Excuse us. Yeah, I don't know if I could put that in.
Or maybe we can give it separately once it's done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to put this in a fridge. We can't just leave it outside. It's okay, this will be just a tester,
Okay.
which is not, we can't just get the right texture. No, not fit, because I don't have another rack.
Okay.
Meaning, I didn't bring the other rack to check its side. If I had that, I would put that. Is it pushed out?
Yeah.
Or you can just ask Nancy. It's clean. You will just get that closer. We'll take a picture of this.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can see this.
This like
It's
this
all-
fold like this?
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm showing this.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
See here, it's clean. See this? No crumbs on top. And it's all coming out clean.
फील बताओ how you're feeling like कैसा
हाँ?
लग रहा है फील कैसा कर रहा है
हाँ.
जब अंदर डाल रहे हो
So you,
Oh.
we have to tell, no? So,
you have to tell, huh?
Yeah,
so they can understand like then when they'll
we are
expect
hungry also for the last
Yes.
2 hours, so we are ready to taste. But
Most of the
Padma
time,
has to give us the permission.
yeah, 1 second. Most of the time when you check if it is cooked or not, do the center one. Because
Center one, yeah.
every time On the sides, you have some container, and the container is leaving out the meat, and this part will be cooked anyways.
So you
This
have to
much
put it
will
in
automatically
middle
get cooked
actually.
soon.
Middle always.
Center is what we need to see. And see, guys, it's not got a doom.
वो भी बताओ डांस सेकंड वो उनका क्वेश्चन था ना कि बच्चों को डांस अच्छा लगता है they don't accept तो ये कैसा है ये बताओ
हाँ. So see, it's not doomed. See, this crack is still fine. It's not a problem for the cake.
Yeah.
And yeah, caramelization has happened. The rising, setting, caramelization, our 3-step process in a cake is done here. Okay. Now the point is, everybody is hungry, and Pushpa is just staring at me if I'm going to give the cake to her or not.
No, I'm fine. I can taste it.
Okay. But the point is, we have to rest this. Now, can we eat it right away? Yes, we can eat it right away. But it's super. So why I did that is there must be air circulation around the cake. Okay, that's why we're keeping. We have to let it cool down. Either you keep it outside or you just leave. Don't leave it in the oven mostly because it might start. It will continue to bake. So don't leave it in the oven. I'm just leaving it like this. So if at all anybody wants to try this cake, please come to Rajpura, right next to Lamti store. The cake will be there kept for you. You can come in the evening and have it. Try a sample, get some confidence in the products, and then buy it. That's more important. If you just see and eat is not going to make more difference. You have to go and try it. For you to try, buy the product, go try and make a difference in your kitchen. Yeah?
Yeah.
Signing off. Thank you.